The steady hum of engines filled the bridge of the Star Seeker as Captain Tom Harris stared at the flashing alert on his main screen. The massive exploration vessel had been mapping the outer edges of human space when they picked up something unusual, a distress signal unlike anything they'd heard before. "What do you make of it, Bill?" Tom asked his communications officer, who had been studying the signal for the past 10 minutes. Bill scratched his gray beard and adjusted his headset. "It's definitely not human, Captain. The pattern is too complex, too precise. Whatever sent this, they're way ahead of us technologically." Tom nodded slowly, his weathered face reflecting the soft blue glow of the ship's instruments. 20 years of space exploration had taught him to be cautious, but something about this signal felt different. "Mark, take us in closer, but keep the shields up. Lucy, I want continuous scans of the area." As the Star Seeker moved toward the signal source, the crew grew quieter. Through the main viewport, they spotted it. A massive ship, easily 3 times their size, its silver hull decorated with strange symbols that seemed to shimmer in the starlight. But something was wrong. Large sections of the vessel were dark, and debris floated around it like leaves in a pond. "Life signs?" Tom asked, leaning forward in his chair. Lucy's fingers flew over her console. "Yes, sir. About 300, but they're weak. Their life support systems appear to be failing." Tom stood up, straightening his blue uniform. "Looks like they need help. Bill, try to contact them on all frequencies. Mark, bring us alongside, but keep a safe distance. We don't want to." Before he could finish, a beam of light suddenly swept across the Star Seeker. The alien ship had scanned them. "Captain," Lucy called out, her voice tense. "You need to see this. They're transmitting massive amounts of data, but not to us. They're sending it somewhere else, deep into space." The alien ship's response came moments later. The language was strange, a series of musical tones and clicks, but their advanced translation software worked quickly. A holographic image appeared on the bridge, showing a tall, slender figure with silvery skin and large dark eyes. "Human vessel," the alien spoke, its voice surprisingly melodic. "I am Ambassador Rix of the Celestial Alliance. We appreciate your offer of assistance." Tom noticed the slight pause, the way the alien's eyes narrowed when saying human. Something wasn't right. "We're glad to help, Ambassador. Our scans show your life support is critical. We can begin evacuation procedures." "No," Rick said quickly, then composed himself. "That won't be necessary. We simply require some technical assistance to repair our systems." Over the next hour, human engineering teams helped restore power to the alien vessel. The Alliance crew watched them work with a mixture of curiosity and what looked like fear. Tom couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Mike Rogers noticed it too. The alien technology was incredible, far more advanced than anything humans had built. But the damage to their systems looked almost deliberate, as if they had disabled their own ship. Back on the bridge, Lucy made a disturbing discovery. "Captain," she whispered, showing him her tablet. "I've decoded more of their transmissions. They're not just calling for help. They're warning others about us." Tom read the partial translation and felt his blood run cold. The message contained phrases like dangerous potential, evolutionary anomaly, and immediate action required. As the repairs finished, Ambassador Rix thanked them with perfect politeness, but his final words carried an edge that everyone on the bridge noticed. "You humans are surprising. Few species would help strangers without knowing their intentions. Even fewer could understand our technology so quickly. The galaxy is vast, Captain Harris, but perhaps it's not vast enough for some species to coexist." The Star Seeker's crew watched in silence as the alien ship disappeared into the darkness of space. They had just made first contact with an advanced alien alliance, but instead of celebration, the bridge was filled with a sense of approaching danger. Tom looked at the last known coordinates of the alien vessel and made a decision. Bill, send a priority message to Earth Command. Lucy, I want every scrap of data we collected about their ship and transmissions. Something tells me we're going to need it. He didn't know it yet, but this encounter would mark the beginning of humanity's greatest challenge, and the day the galaxy would learn to fear them. Kate Miller hadn't slept in 36 hours. The lights in her office at the Global Defense Center blinked softly as she stared at the patterns on her screens. Something wasn't right with the deep space communications, and she knew it. You're still here. Robert, her assistant, walked in with 2 cups of coffee. The night shift started hours ago. Kate took the coffee without looking away from her screen. Look at this. She pointed to a series of wave patterns. These signals keep repeating every 6 hours. They're too perfect to be natural, too complex to be human. Robert leaned in closer. Could be just space noise. We get false alarms all the time. No, Kate shook her head, her tired eyes still focused. This is different. Ever since the Star Seekers' encounter last week, these signals have been increasing. They're hiding something in the background noise. She typed quickly, running another decryption program she had written. The computer hummed as it processed the data. Suddenly, new patterns emerged on the screen, hidden beneath the regular signals. There, Kate stood up so fast she almost spilled her coffee. See these spikes? They're coordinates, hundreds of them, all pointing to different locations around our solar system. Robert's face went pale. Military coordinates. Worse, Kate said, pulling up more data. They're targeting coordinates. Someone's mapping every human settlement, every defense station, every major ship deployment. And look at the timestamp. These scans started right after the Star Seekers' meeting with that alien ship. She grabbed her secure phone and dialed a number she hoped she'd never have to use. General Adams? This is Officer Miller. We have a code black situation. The Alliance isn't just studying us. They're planning something. Within an hour, the quiet office transformed into a hub of activity. Military officers and intelligence experts filled the room as Kate explained her findings. On the main screen, she showed them the decoded alien transmissions. Their messages talk about humans as a genetic deviation, she explained, pointing to the translations. They're scared of us, but not because of our technology. They're afraid of what we are. General Adams, a tall man with sharp eyes, studied the data. What do you mean, what we are? Kate pulled up biological scans the aliens had taken. Look at these readings. They were especially interested in our adrenal responses, our muscle density, our neural pathways, things that make humans unique as a species. Unique how? Someone asked from the back of the room. Most intelligent species evolve to be less aggressive, less physically capable as they advance, Kate explained. Their bodies become more specialized for thinking than surviving. But humans, we kept everything. Our ancestors' strength, their survival instincts, their ability to hunt and fight. We just added intelligence on top of it all. The room grew quiet as the implications sank in. On the screens, more alien signals poured in, each one carrying hidden maps and battle plans. They see us as impossible, Kate continued. A species that shouldn't exist, predators that developed space travel. And based on these transmissions, they're not planning to wait and see what we'll do with that combination. General Adams straightened his uniform. How long do we have? Kate looked at her calculations again. The signals are converging. Multiple ships moving toward our sector. Best guess. 2 weeks, maybe less. Then we have 2 weeks to prepare, the general said firmly. Officer Miller, I want you working with our defense teams. If they think we're dangerous now, let's make sure we prove them right. As the others filed out to begin preparations, Kate stayed at her desk, watching new signals appear. The aliens thought humans were an evolutionary mistake, a dangerous combination of brain and brawn that needed to be eliminated. Soon, they would learn just how right they were about the dangerous part, and just how wrong they were about trying to stop it. The attack came at dawn. Earth's orbital defense stations picked up the first ships breaking through the darkness of space, sleek silver vessels that moved with impossible grace. There were hundreds of them, their hulls gleaming in the light of the rising sun. In the command center of Orbital Station Delta, Commander Pete Wilson watched the alien fleet approach. All stations, battle positions, he ordered, his voice steady despite the fear he felt. This is not a drill. The Celestial Alliance ships moved in perfect formation, their attack pattern so precise it looked like a dance. They clearly expected an easy victory. They were wrong. Let them think we're surprised, Pete told his crew. Hold positions until my mark. The humans had known this was coming, thanks to Kate Miller's warning. They were ready. The first alien shots streaked across space, beautiful beams of purple energy that could tear through normal shields like paper. But these weren't normal shields. Earth scientists had studied the data from the Star Seeker incident, working day and night to adapt their defenses. Shields holding at 80%, reported Jane, the defense officer. Their weapons aren't as effective as they expected. The Alliance ships paused their attack, probably confused by the humans' resilience. That's when Pete gave the order they'd been waiting for. All stations, commence Operation Hornet's Nest. What happened next shocked the alien fleet. Instead of staying in formation and following standard space battle tactics, Earth's defense ships scattered in all directions. Each ship acted independently, following no pattern the aliens could predict. Small fighter squadrons darted between the larger Alliance vessels, causing chaos in their perfect formations. The human pilots flew like they were possessed, pulling off maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. How are they doing this? An alien commander demanded over an open channel. Their pilots should be unconscious from those turns. What the aliens didn't know was that humans could withstand much higher G-forces than most species. What would knock out an Alliance pilot just made a human pilot grit their teeth and push harder. In the midst of the battle, Pete noticed something else that surprised the aliens. When an Earth ship was damaged, the crew didn't wait for orders to make repairs. They acted on their own, finding creative solutions to keep fighting. "Sir," Jane called out, "Alliance ships are switching to their secondary weapons. They're adapting their strategy." Pete smiled. "That's what they think. Launch the drones." Thousands of small, unmanned vessels emerged from Earth's defense stations. The alien sensors couldn't tell which ships had human pilots and which didn't. Their perfect battle plan fell apart as they tried to defend against attacks coming from all directions. "Their formation is breaking," Jane reported. "They didn't expect us to fight like this." She was right. The Alliance fought like a single mind controlling many bodies. But humans? Each ship, each pilot, each crew fought their own battle while somehow staying part of the larger fight. It was chaos, but organized chaos, like a swarm of angry bees defending their hive. An alien transmission cut through the battle noise. "Fall back. These humans, they don't fight like civilized beings. Each one fights like a separate army." Pete watched as the mighty Alliance fleet began to retreat. They had lost nearly a third of their ships, while Earth's losses were minimal. But he knew this was just the beginning. "Send word to Earth Command," he ordered. "First wave repelled, but they'll be back. And next time, they won't underestimate us." As the alien ships disappeared into deep space, Pete looked at the battle damage reports. The Alliance had expected to find a primitive species playing at war. Instead, they found an entire planet of warriors who had turned space itself into their hunting ground. They would be back, yes, but now they knew. Humans weren't just another species to conquer. They were something the galaxy had never seen before, predators who had mastered the stars. Commander Jack Wood stood in the bridge of his ship, the thunder watching the asteroid belt spin slowly in the distance. After their first defeat, the Alliance fleet had regrouped and was pushing toward Earth again. This time, they were being more careful, moving in smaller groups, trying to find gaps in Earth's defenses. "Status report," Jack called out to his crew. His small fleet of 5 ships had been hiding in the asteroid belt for 6 hours, waiting. 3 Alliance battle groups approaching. "Sir," replied Officer Dan from his scanner station. "They're searching the belt, but they haven't spotted us yet." Jack nodded, a slight smile on his face. The Alliance didn't understand asteroids the way humans did. On their advanced worlds, they'd cleared away such space debris long ago. But humans? They'd learned to use everything nature gave them. "Begin Operation Rockstorm," Jack ordered. "And remember, timing is everything." His crew moved with quick efficiency. Over the past week, they'd attached small engines to hundreds of asteroids. Now those rocks would become their secret weapons. "First wave ready," reported Lisa, his weapons officer. "Waiting for your command." Jack watched the alien ships draw closer. They were beautiful machines, all smooth lines and advanced technology. But they had one weakness. They relied too much on their computers, their formations, their proper way of doing things. "Launch," Jack ordered. The first wave of asteroids burst from their hiding spots, their small engines pushing them toward the alien ships. The Alliance vessels detected them immediately, but that's exactly what Jack wanted. "They're powering up their defense screens," Dan reported. "Just like we expected." The Alliance ships raised their energy shields, creating perfect bubbles of protection around themselves, but they didn't understand what Jack had planned. "Second wave, launch," he commanded. More asteroids moved out, but these were different. They'd been hollowed out, filled with metal debris from old ships and satellites. When the Alliance's sensors scanned them, they looked like solid rocks. "They're ignoring the second wave," Lisa said, excitement in her voice. "Their computers are marking them as non-threat objects." Jack watched as his trap unfolded. The Alliance ships focused their fire on the first wave of asteroids, their advanced weapons turning the rocks to dust. But they completely ignored the second wave, just as planned. "All ships, power up," Jack ordered. "Get ready to move." The hollowed asteroids drifted closer to the alien ships. Inside each one, the metal debris began to heat up from the energy of the Alliance's shields. Then, at just the right moment, the asteroids cracked open. Thousands of metal fragments exploded outward, transformed into superheated shrapnel by the aliens' own shield energy. The Alliance ship's shields, designed to stop energy weapons and solid objects, couldn't handle the cloud of burning metal coming from all directions. "Multiple hits confirmed," Dan called out. "Their shields are failing." "Now," Jack ordered, "all ships, attack pattern Delta." His 5 ships burst from their hiding spots, engines blazing. The Alliance vessels, their shields weakened and their sensors confused by the metal debris, never stood a chance. "Sir," Lisa reported after the brief but intense battle, "Alliance ships are retreating. We destroyed 3 and damaged 5 others. No losses on our side." Jack nodded, but he wasn't celebrating yet. "Send the recording of this battle on all frequencies," he ordered. "Let them see exactly what happened here." He knew the Alliance would study this battle, trying to understand how they'd been defeated by such a primitive tactic. They'd probably make their shields stronger, reprogram their sensors to detect hollow asteroids. But that didn't matter, because next time, humans would think of something else. That's what the Alliance still didn't understand. Humans didn't just use tactics, they invented new ones on the spot. "Message sent, sir," Dan reported. "Should I add anything else?" "No," Jack said, watching the Alliance ships limp away. "I think they got the message. Don't underestimate humans. We'll use anything and everything to win, even the rocks floating in space." Dr. Emma Roberts watched the alien prisoner through the medical bay window. The wounded Alliance soldier lay on the bed, its silvery skin reflecting the soft lights above. 3 days ago, this alien had been trying to kill them. Now, Emma was trying to save its life. "How's our patient?" asked Captain Mark from behind her. His ship, the Mercy, had rescued the alien crew from their damaged vessel during the battle near Mars. "Stable," Emma replied. checking the monitors. Their biology is fascinating. They process oxygen differently than we do, and their bones are lighter. They evolved on a low-gravity world. The alien's eyes opened, all three of them, focusing on Emma. It tried to move away, fear clearly visible on its face. "It's okay," Emma said softly, knowing the translator would convert her words. "You're safe here. We're trying to help you." The alien spoke, its musical voice weak but clear. "Why? We are enemies. Our ship attacked yours." "Because you need help," Emma replied simply. "That's reason enough." In another part of the ship, the rescued aliens watched in confusion as human crew members helped repair their damaged equipment. The Alliance prisoners couldn't understand why humans would show kindness to enemies. Back in her lab, Emma studied the data they'd collected about Alliance biology. "Look at this," she told Captain Mark, pointing to her screen. "Their bodies produce almost no adrenaline. They don't have our fight or flight response." "That explains a lot," Mark said. "They don't understand how we can switch from fighting to helping so quickly. For them, it's one or the other." A sudden alarm interrupted their conversation. 2 Alliance battleships had appeared near Mars, probably looking for their lost crew members. "Battle stations," Mark ordered through the ship's speakers. "All hands prepare for combat." Emma rushed to secure her medical bay. As the ship's crew moved with practiced speed, the wounded aliens watched in amazement as their human caregivers transformed from gentle nurses into efficient warriors in seconds. The Mercy's engines roared to life, and Emma felt the familiar push of acceleration. Through the medical bay window, she saw the Alliance ships approaching, weapons ready. "Attention Alliance vessels," Captain Mark's voice boomed across space. "We have your wounded crew members aboard. They are under our protection and receiving medical care. Stand down." The Alliance ships kept coming. They didn't believe humans could be trusted. "Fine," Mark said. "Show them what we can do. Target their engines only. We don't want to kill anyone we don't have to." What followed was a perfect display of human combat precision. The Mercy danced between enemy shots while firing its own weapons with surgical accuracy. Within minutes, both Alliance ships hung powerless in space, their engines disabled but crews unharmed. Now, Mark broadcasted again. "Would you like to talk about getting your people back?" Later, as they transferred the healed Alliance crew members back to their ships, Emma noticed something had changed. The aliens no longer looked at them with just fear. There was confusion there too, and maybe a hint of respect. One of the alien officers approached her before leaving. "We were told humans were dangerous savages," it said. "But you heal as skillfully as you fight. How is this possible?" Emma smiled. "Because being human means being many things at once. We can fight when we must and help when we can. It's not a weakness. It's what makes us strong." As the aliens departed, Emma returned to her lab. On her screen, she decoded more of the Alliance's biological data. She knew they would fight again, but now she understood something important. Humans weren't just physically stronger than the Alliance species, they were emotionally stronger too. "Captain," she called Mark on the intercom, "I think I know why they really fear us. It's not just that we can fight. It's that we can do so much more than fight. They don't understand how we can be so many different things at once." "Well," Mark replied, "maybe it's time they learn that being unpredictable isn't always a bad thing." Colonel Mike Turner's Marine squad floated silently in space, their dark combat suits blending with the blackness around them. Ahead of them loomed the Alliance command ship, its massive hull stretching for what seemed like miles. This mission would either end the war or get them all killed. "Remember," Mike's voice was calm over the squad radio. "Small groups, maximum chaos. Hit them where they don't expect us. Move like we trained." 20 human Marines split into 5 teams of 4, each heading toward different entry points on the alien vessel. The Alliance never guarded their outer hull. No species they knew would be crazy enough to try boarding in open space. But humans weren't like other species. "Team 1, in position," Mike whispered, his squad reaching a maintenance hatch. The other teams reported ready seconds later. Begin breach. Their plasma cutters made short work of the alien locks. One by one, each team slipped inside the massive ship like wolves entering a barn. The Alliance was about to learn why humans were Earth's most successful predators. Inside, the ship's artificial gravity took hold. Mike's team moved through the corridors like ghosts, their movements smooth and practiced. Years of training had taught them how to be silent even in combat boots. Contact, came the quiet report from Team 3. 2 guards, handled silently. They never saw us coming. Mike smiled behind his helmet. The Alliance fought like a highly trained army, but humans still remembered how to hunt. They reached their first objective, a major power relay station. The Alliance crew inside never had a chance to raise the alarm. Quick, silent, efficient, just like their ancestors taking down larger prey on the African savanna. Charges set, reported Team 2 from another part of the ship. Ready on your mark. Team 4 here. We've reached the bridge access point. Heavy resistance expected. Mike checked his tactical display. All teams were in position. Execute Phase 2, he ordered. Let's show them how humans fight. The charges detonated simultaneously across the ship. Alarms blared as systems failed and backup power kicked in. The Alliance crew rushed to respond, but they made a critical mistake. They moved in large groups, following standard emergency protocols. That's exactly what the humans wanted. Mike's team struck first, emerging from shadows to ambush a group of alien engineers. Teams 2 and 3 hit other crucial points, appearing and disappearing like ancient guerrilla fighters. Each small human squad acted independently but somehow coordinated, causing maximum confusion. They're trying to figure out how many of us there are, Mike said as his team moved toward the bridge. They can't believe such a small force would attack a ship this size. The Alliance's organized response fell apart as human Marines seemed to be everywhere at once. Small teams would strike, vanish, and reappear somewhere else. The aliens had no defense against an enemy that refused to fight according to the rules. Bridge team, go, Mike ordered as they reached the command center. Show them what Marines can do. The bridge battle lasted less than 2 minutes. Alliance commanders, used to directing battles from safety, found themselves facing human warriors who had evolved from persistence hunters. The outcome was never in doubt. Bridge secured, Mike reported, standing among the stunned alien officers. All teams report casualties. One by one, the teams reported in. 3 minor injuries, no deaths. They had taken a command ship 10 times their size with 20 people. The alien admiral stared at Mike in disbelief. Impossible, he said through the translator. Our ship has a crew of thousands. How did you do this with so few? Mike removed his helmet, letting the alien see his face. Because humans don't need overwhelming force or perfect plans. We just need a small team of hunters and a worthy prey. He looked around the captured bridge, remembering ancient tales of human hunters bringing down mammoth with nothing but spears and courage. Today, he told the admiral, you learned why humans were Earth's apex predators. We don't just fight battles. We hunt them. The peace conference room aboard the neutral station hung in space between Earth and Mars. Captain Tom Harris sat at one end of the long table, Ambassador Ricks at the other. It felt strange to be here, facing the same alien who had started all this with that first distress call that now seems so long ago. Your species continues to surprise us, Ricks said, his silvery skin reflecting the soft light. You could have destroyed our command ship. Instead, you captured it with minimal casualties. Tom nodded. That's what you still don't understand about humans. We're not just warriors. We're whatever we need to be. The screens around them showed images from the war. Human ships protecting civilian vessels, Marines rescuing trapped alien crews, doctors like Emma treating enemy wounded. But they also showed the fierce battles, the clever tactics, the unrelenting human drive to survive. We studied your history, Rick said, touching a control that brought up images of Earth's past. Your kind fought countless wars among yourselves. You hunted great beasts. You survived ice ages and disasters. By our standards, you should have destroyed yourselves before reaching the stars. But we didn't, Tom replied. Because the same things that make us dangerous also make us strong. We learn from our enemies. We grow stronger from challenges. We fight harder when protecting others than when fighting for ourselves. The door opened and Kate Miller walked in, carrying data files from her intelligence work. She had spent months studying the Alliance's transmissions, learning their ways just as they had tried to learn humanity's. Your initial assessment wasn't wrong, she told Rix. Humans are dangerous. We're predators who develop technology. We can switch from peaceful exploration to warfare in moments. We remember how to hunt, how to fight, how to survive. She placed a small device on the table, and it projected a double helix, human DNA. But that's not what makes us truly dangerous. It's this: we can change, adapt, grow. We can learn from our mistakes and our successes. Rick studied the human genetic code with all three of his eyes. Your DNA shows signs of multiple adaptations, multiple survivals. Your species should have died out dozens of times. But we didn't, Tom said again. Because humans don't know how to give up. We don't understand impossible odds. We just keep going, keep fighting, keep trying until we find a way. The alien ambassador was quiet for a long moment. The Alliance has existed for 10,000 years, he finally said. We thought we knew everything about how species evolve, how civilizations grow. But humans, you break all our rules. Then maybe it's time for new rules, Kate suggested. You fear us because we're different, but different doesn't always mean dangerous. Tom stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the stars. You can keep fighting us, Ambassador. Humans will fight back, and we'll win, because that's what we do. Or, Rix asked. Or you can accept that the galaxy is big enough for species that evolved differently. You can learn from us, as we can learn from you. The Alliance has technology and knowledge. Humans have creativity and determination. Together, we could be something new. The peace treaty they signed that day wasn't just an end to the war. It was an acceptance that humanity, with all its contradictions and complications, had earned its place among the stars. As Rix prepared to leave, he had one last question for Tom. What should we tell the other species about humans? Tom smiled. Tell them the truth. Humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy, not because we're stronger or more advanced, but because we never stop trying to be better. We're warriors when we must be, peacekeepers when we can be, and explorers always. The Alliance learned many things about humans during the war, but the most important lesson was this. What makes humans dangerous isn't their strength or their technology, or even their fighting skills. It's their ability to be anything they need to be, to adapt to any challenge, and to turn enemies into allies through sheer determination. The day the aliens learned why humans were the galaxy's most fearsome warriors was also the day they learned why humans could be their greatest friends.